Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Kingpin Talks podcast with your boy Dunn the Kingpin, along with my brother EJ Orikion Johnson, aka the Advisor. Um, it was supposed to be three of us, but due to my other brother Nate's great grandmother, great aunt passing this morning, he could not join us. We send our condolences. We send our prayers out to him and his family in this day and time, and in this season. Just praying that God will watch over him and his family as they grieve and mourn over their death. On tonight is a very important topic that me and the bros want to talk about, and we want to talk about mental health. We want to talk about very important topic that not only hits men but it hits women as well. Boys and girls. Parents. Um, doesn't matter what age you are. Doesn't matter what race you are, what orientation you are, or gender you are. Mental health is a very important thing, and we know that in this day and age, we're in a society to where it seems like that um there's a lot of reservation going on when it comes to mental health, and people don't want to open up. Some people just want to hold stuff in and things that nature. Our encouragement is to not allow reservation to happen. We want to strive to be people who talk our problems out instead of holding our problems in, and try to deal with the issues on a more deeper level. So, along with me, I have, of course, Orikion Johnson, and I'm gonna give him the floor to say whatever he wants to say at this time.
Well, how's it going, Kingpin Nation? How's it going? How's it going? On today, as my brother said, we are going to definitely send out our condolences to our other brother, Nate, as he loses his great aunt. In this time of bereavement, we just pray for healing. We just pray for um, the grieving process, for him to grieve and for him to just let go of, you know, that, because that also kind of coincides in what we're talking about today about mental health. You know, grieving is definitely a stage of mental health. And, just wanted to give you guys some type of motivation, but also to let you guys know that, not just black people or white people, everybody has that mental health that they go through, and it can stream from different type of things of disorder. But we definitely gonna get into this topic today, and I hope what we say y'all can definitely take, and y'all can definitely use it to your advantage. And I pray that it touches you and it really speaks to your spirit.
Amen. Wise words as always. And like I said, we want to promote an atmosphere in which you can, talk about problems, and you can state your differences and whatever situations you may be going in. One of the things that we desire to create is a safe space. I just want to let y'all know that up front that we are a safe space. None of this, you will not be judged by anything that you say. You will not be judged by anything that you're going through or anything like that, because we all aren't perfect. We all have situations and circumstances that comes up to test us, and we all go through things, and none of us are exempt from situations. None of us are exempt from being tested. None of us are being exempt from being tried and all this stuff. So one of the things that we want to create is a safe space, first and foremost, because we take mental health seriously. Like we take it very, very seriously. And there has been many things during the past couple of years, and we're not talking about just COVID, but we talking about social injustice, we talking about racism, we talking about, and I normally don't go this route, but I just want to, state the facts because there is different ways that your mental health can be affected. Your mental health can be affected physically, it could be
Mhm.
affected emotionally, it could be affected spiritually. Like whichever way your mental health can be affected, it's going to be affected. But you have the choice to which extent your mental health is being affected. And one of the reasons why I love Arikion is because even though he has his own ailment, he don't allow that to slow him down. He don't allow that to stop him from being a great husband, a great brother, a great man of God, a great working man, so it can be done. It can be done. And so I just want to encourage you all on tonight that no matter what you may be going through mentally, that you have the power to achieve what you want to achieve because this is your life.
Yeah.
You decide how your life is. Your life is a book, and you're the author. You're the author of that book. So I'm just let Orikion take it from here and share a little bit of his story.
Um, hmm. This topic definitely hits home for me, morally because, you know, just to be very transparent and to be vulnerable, I'm going through some mental things myself. And as a black man in this day and age in society, the world puts this stigma on us to not, you know, to tough it out, to not cry, to brush it off as if we don't have feelings as men. We got the same emotions as a female does, and as any other race, any other gender, anybody. We have those same feelings. So I definitely want to say, don't let you know the world stigma deter you from where you really, your mental. And that's why I ask my brothers every time I get a chance to speak with them, how is your mental 1 through 10? 10 being it's great, you're doing great, your mental is fine. Five being I really need help. And if you go past five, you definitely that's a definite sign of I need help. And it's okay to say I need help when it comes to the mental health. So I definitely want to encourage any of my brothers, anybody who's watching this, especially black men. I definitely want to encourage, or men in general, just encourage um, that y'all go get counseling. Counseling is never a bad thing to us. I don't know why the world seems to put that on us again, just to honestly have, you know, they suppress us and, from just getting counsel. Like, go talk to somebody. I know it's a lot of people who probably would say, I can't trust talking to somebody because I don't want to be vulnerable with that person, or I don't want to be this way because they may judge me. But at the end of the day, man, it's your mental health. Mental health it's serious. Even with celebrities, they have it just like we do. It has nothing to do with their fame. It has nothing to do with the fortune. Everybody has that. And just this topic right here, I've done some research a little bit to figure out certain things, man. And one of the things I'm looking at is there's 5.2 percentage of U.S. adults who experience serious mental illness, and that was in 2019. So I can only really imagine what the number is as of 2020. But From August 2020 to February 2021, adults with recent symptoms of anxiety depression disorder, it increased from 36% to 42. So, with just putting the numbers out there for you guys, it's definitely detrimental to get counseling, to just seek counseling, to seek what, because there's different type of symptoms that you can go through to have and to show what mental illness is for us. And to just go back on that a little bit, some of the main groups of mental disorders are mood disorders such as depression or bipolar disorder or anxiety disorder, personality disorder, eating disorder, trauma related, anything that you went through in childhood that could definitely, as far as being raped or being sexually abused or being hit or being beat on, for anybody. That's not just in women in general, or in most cases, it's anybody who have experienced the things that I've really listed. And substance, or if you smoke or you drink, you turn to that thing that loves you the most, but really doesn't love you at the same time. You turn to that because that's what you have, because nobody's around to really check on you like they supposed to check on you. And that's why with my bros, I make sure I just check on them, my family, my friends, my wife. I check on people just to make sure you're mental, because mental is definitely important. We can stop, definitely from this day forward, we could definitely stop trying to put that aside and really, I really want y'all to just challenge yourself and just seek counseling. It that's coming from me, and I take counseling. I just started counseling, so um, it's definitely a good thing to look into. And I'm gonna let my brother, the Dunn, turn it over and let him have the floor for a little bit.
I mean, there was some awesome points that you just mentioned. One word that stuck out to me while you were speaking was trauma. And
Yeah,
we know how trauma is. Traumas Trauma can be, it can last you for a lifetime. You
it
could be in
can.
the most happiest moments of your life, but if you
Right.
see one thing that triggers that trauma, it will
Mm-hmm.
snap you back into a place as if you're back to
Mm-hmm.
that place where it all happened, or back to that place where you was hurt, back to that place where you was raped, back to that place where you was abused, back to that place where you was being humiliated and ashamed. And
Right.
we have the ability to break that. We do not have to be a slave to trauma. We do not have to be a slave to depression. We do not have to be a slave to the things that try to bound us and try to keep us captive, in captivity, and a state of mind where there's no freedom, there's no liberty, there's no hope, there's no way of getting out of this. That's the place where um the enemy wants to keep us at. He wants to keep us in a place of stagnation. He wants to keep us in a place of stand stillness. And one of the things that he uses to achieve that is our mind.
Mm-hmm.
Is our mind. If he can get you in your mind, he got you. He got you. Just like that. Yeah, he can attack your body. Yeah, he can attack your finances. Yeah, he can attack your family. But once he attack your mind and he sees that crack in that door and he walks through that door, he basically got you. He basically got you. And at that point, you're at his disposal.
All right.
But I believe that it's our jobs to assist people who are dealing with um mental weakness, anything that comes to attack them mentally. I believe that God's placed us here to help them overcome what they're going through, because I can just speak for myself. I basically grew up most of my life without knowing who my father was. And it 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 got me to a place to where, I started questioning myself, um in a masculine way. Can I really be a man? Can I really be happy? Do I even deserve to be happy? Do I even deserve to, be strengthened as a man? But one thing I had to find out was is that, you know, whoever my dad was didn't define who I was. And you find many in this day and age that people some people go out here and they try to find the wrong labels to put on themselves. They'll put all type of labels on themselves, and there's not even the label that you're supposed to have, you know, and that's one of the tricks of the enemy. He tries to give us mirages and fake images to have us in a place to where we are who he say he is. We are who he says that we are, and that's not true. Like I said before, this is this is our life, and we live it how we live it. Now, at the end of the day, we got a choice. We have a choice to either stay in a mind of captivity, or we're gonna have a mindset of, okay, we're gonna break out of this and make something out of ourselves. Because we have a choice. We have a choice. Yes, your mental is serious. It's serious when it comes to your mental. Your mental is something that of high importance. Is really of high importance. So you have to make sure that you're doing what you have to do to stay in the mental place, and you stay in the mental frame of a right frame of mind as well. You know, and you have to reach, and you have to know there's people out there that care for you, that cares for you. Many people feel like they're alone. I've been there one time in my life, been surrounded by people, but still feeling like I'm alone. And that's how quick it can happen. You're around people, but you still feel like you're alone. There's something wrong with your mental if you have that mindset. But that don't have to define you. That doesn't define who you are. You're not alone. You're not abandoned. You're not weak. You're not inferior. You are who you put your mind to be. And that's the most important thing at the end of the day. We spend so much time at times putting all this negative stuff in our minds, and that thing becomes a label of who we are. If you listen to a lot of junk, if you hang around people who ain't got no purpose, they don't have no clue of where they want to be in life, who you think you're gonna be? Like the saying goes, you are who you associate with. If you associate yourself with people who aren't as mentally strong as you're striving to be, then what type of effect is that going to have on you? What type of effect is that going to have on your purpose? What type of effect is that going to have on the dreams and the visions that you want to achieve? It's going to have a negative effect. So you have to surround yourself with people that's higher than where you are at that moment in order for you to get higher. So who you want to be, you have to associate yourself with those people. If you want to be mentally strong, you have to surround yourself with mentally strong people. If you want to be rich, you got to associate yourself around rich people. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to surround yourself with other entrepreneurs. If you want to be a better man, you have to surround yourself with men there's a level there that are farther than you are. So It's almost as if you have to surround yourself with people and things that are higher than where you are right now in order for you to elevate. Now, EJ, I know for you, and I know that that you don't mind me, disclosing this, but I know that um you've dealt with autism, which is also a mental disease,
Right.
and yet that's having, I know you have your challenges with those as well, and yet you're still pushing. So, give us a little background of, when you first discovered this mental disease and how you're coping with it.
Uh, um, Honestly, I would definitely say to again be transparent and vulnerable. I was born as a normal, as a normal baby, as a
Mhm.
normal baby should. But somewhere along the line, when I started growing up as a young child and as a young kid, um, what ended up happening was that I had seizures. So by having seizures, it triggered something inside of my mental, in my brain, to be autistic and have those um, ways of being tended, being autistic and whatnot. But I feel as though I've always had it. My mom put me through therapy, anger management. So it was. I know. I I could definitely say it. I know for me, I couldn't even imagine being the parent that had to go the extra mile and do all these extra things to um you know the product that I am today has to do a lot with God and my mother, just you know going through what I went through and whatnot. And for some time I probably say I really didn't notice it until I'll say recently, when I had a vulnerable moment with my wife and I told her that um I was autistic. And you know battling with it, it could go one or two ways. It could go good, you get help, or it could go bad and you kind of push yourself farther in the closet rather than coming out of that closet to figure out, okay, should I go get counseling? And this is now as a grown man, like, should I go get counseling, or should I talk to a counselor, or should I do this, or should I do that, or should I just hide in this closet and just keep myself here and not accept who I am, or not really, I had to come to terms with being embarrassed just with being autistic. But somewhere along the line, I had to step up and say, why am I embarrassed? Or why am I being embarrassed by this? This is who I am. This is who you are. Love who you are. And that also goes with what I was saying of being, self-love. Like, love yourself. Even for, that person that you with, they may not know your mental or mental illness. They may not have experienced it in their family. They may not understand how traumatic it can really be. But for yourself, I would encourage anybody, just get you a counselor and work through the problems and work through that mental illness. Of course, it's never going to go away. Those trauma related things turning to a substance. Of course, for those who have been raped or sexually abused or beat, or you got post-traumatic stress or anything of that sort. Of course, it's going to always be there. But for those who do substance and stuff like that, of course, you're going to have the memory, but that could be changed. You know, you don't always have to turn to that Henny or that E&J or the joints or anything that is a substance that makes you feel good, but in reality, it doesn't. So, as I said, I encourage you, anybody and everybody that who's on here, to just get you some counseling.
And that's an amazing story of how overcame and still overcoming, those adversities, and you're not letting those things slow you down, and you're not letting those things, questioning yourself as to who you are and what you're supposed to do, and all this stuff. And that's really the mentality that you have to have when you're dealing with any issues besides mental issues. That's how you got to deal with everything.
All right.
And like you said, you don't have to turn to alcohol, you don't have to turn to the drugs, you don't have to turn to um those things, the numb the pain. When you numb the pain, all you're doing is just, it's like you're putting a band-aid over a scab, but you're not really treating the scab. You're not really treating the wound. You're just stopping it from bleeding until, but
Right.
eventually that rope, that band-aid is gonna come off, and
Mm-hmm.
eventually that wound is gonna start bleeding again. And the reason
All right.
why that wound starts bleeding again is because you fully haven't dealt with that wound. And many people have childhood wounds, they have relationship wounds, they have self-inflicted wounds. They have different type of wounds. But one of the things that you can do to fully heal is you have to deal with it. You got to get to the root of it. You have to get to why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. Why do I feel alone? Why do I feel like turn to drugs? Why do I feel like turn to this stuff that I know that's not good for me, but yeah, I find myself going back to? Why do I feel myself just numbing the pain instead of dealing with the root? And that takes self-evaluation. We have to take that time out to evaluate ourselves. That's why I at times I go on trips. I go on trips for a couple of days just to make sure that my mental is right. Because one of the things is, even though um even though I'm a husband and I'm a man of God and I'm a working man, sometimes I need a breather. Life is not easy. The things that I go through at times is not easy. But one of the things that helped me is I believe that God gave me the ability to overcome anything that I face. And that's why I want to encourage everybody on here that's listening, is that you don't have to turn to the things that numbs the pain, but you can talk to people. And most things can be handled just by talking. And that's one of the things, if I can go this way, um, that's one of the many things that we're still dealing with in the Black community is we love to just hold stuff in. I was one of those ones that was afraid to talk, the let anybody expose my truths, to expose the things that I was going through. But I had to realize that in order for me to get the healing that I need, I was gonna have to talk about this stuff. And we live in a society where you know, we have to hold stuff in. We just have to hold it in and keep going. We just have to hold it in and be strong. You're human. I'm gonna just tell you right now, all that hold it in, not talk about it, that has to be stopped. Because one thing about it is that, like I said, you have to talk about it. You have to speak about it. You know, it's just like a water. It's just like a bottle of Sprite. As you keep shaking it up, the fizz is gonna start building, and that cap ain't gonna hold it for long. And all of a sudden, you're gonna have soda all over the place. You're gonna have mixed emotions all over the place. You're gonna have anger all over the place. You're gonna have all these emotions all over the place. And it's gonna be hard to deal with because you didn't take the time to talk about this stuff. Anything can be handled just by talking, but that doesn't mean you just have to come out and just talk about it right then and there, because things takes time. You have to do things in its right timing. You have to do things when you're comfortable about talking. But just know that there's somebody out there for you that you can talk to, and they're waiting for you to talk about it. Trust me. The one person I can go to and talk about some things is God, because He knows He created me. He knows I was gonna be here at this point in time. He knows what I was gonna go through in my life. He already knows the ins and outs about me. So it's easy for me to talk to Him about the things that I go through, because He understands. He walked the same roads we did. And I try not to go the spiritual route, but I got to. I have to come from a place to where I that helped me out. You know, that He helped me out to expose the truths in me. So, mental health is a big thing. It's a big deal. And sometimes we just act like it's not a big deal, and we just go on by our lives and not checking on those things, and not monitoring our mental. Like, my brother EJ was saying, you have to monitor your mental. You have to make sure your mental is straight. You have to make sure that your mental is good, because you're not gonna be able to love yourself and other people if your mental is not good. So, I mean, did you have any other words, EJ?
Um, hmm. Trying to see if I could. Give me a minute. Sorry, you guys. Give me a minute.
And guys, don't be afraid to post your comments and questions, because your feedback is important to us. Like I said before, we want this place to be safe. We want this place to be something that you can interact, and you can get your questions answered, and your comments with some feedback or whatever. Don't be afraid to post. Don't be afraid to comment. Don't be afraid to share it. Because we're here to help you guys. We're here for you. We're here for you guys.
Can you still hear me?
I can hear you, but your video's frozen. All right, we're gonna give EJ a couple of minutes to fix his feed. He's having a lot of technical difficulties, but the show must go on. For the ones who has tuned in to this live podcast episode, I just want to appreciate you all for coming on and joining us on tonight. You didn't have to. I know that a lot of y'all are getting ready for tomorrow, for Friday, to finish off this work week. Whoop, whoop. But just want to thank y'all for joining in and not count it as a robbery to be on the broadcast on tonight. Um,
All right,
all
I'm
right,
back.
he's back. Okay.
What is one? Oh my gosh.
All right, we're
All
gonna.
right, my apologies, guys.
Okay.
But this um poem is basically saying that having anxiety and depression is like being scared and tired at the same time. It's the fear of failure, but no urge to be productive. I'm gonna let that sit in for a minute before I keep reading so you guys understand that having both anxiety and depression is basically being scared and tired at the same time. So imagine the feeling of being scared and tired at the same time. It's the fear of failure and the urge to not be productive. It's wanting friends but don't want to socialize. It's wanting to be alone but not wanting to be lonely. It's feeling it's like feeling everything at once and then feeling paralyzingly numb. Anxiety and depression are some of the biggest success blockers. Just to leave that with you guys, I'll let y'all marinate on that. Um, I hope what we definitely said definitely can get to you guys. It definitely can simmer in your soul, and it can um, really, take what we said. Don't take what we said lightly. Take what we say and take it with um urgency to, take your time, but take it with urgency to just check in on yourself or check in on your loved ones as far as their mental health and their physical health, but definitely mental health. Um, I pray that what we said, it definitely can just not just on this show, but every show that we have ever recorded, it could reach one, teach one. And that's all I have for you guys. I hope you definitely have enjoyed the episode. I am the advisor.
And I am done the Kingpin. And once again, we send our condolences to our brother Nate as they prepare to lay his great aunt to rest. And as if he's even watching, we're here for you, bro. As we always have been, we're here for you, man. Whatever you need, man. We hear from you. We here for you. Truly are. And it was a great episode on tonight. I can truly say that the enemy tried just about everything that he could to not
Everything.
allow this episode to happen. But
All right.
we knew the importance of this episode because many people go through something that challenges their mental health. And
Mm-hmm.
just know that even though you don't have it all together, you have enough. And that's all you need to persevering to press into your purpose and to who you want to be in life. And I just want to thank you all for everybody that, like I said, did not take a robbery to tune in on tonight. We have many more episodes to do. This will not be the last time that you see us. I believe that there is a purpose and a destiny for this episode, not only for this episode, but this podcast in general. And I'm happy to say that I am a CDL truck driver as I achieved um, the passing of my CDL permit test on today. So I am very happy that I can check that off my bucket list. It's something that I strive for a long time, and my mom and my wife and others pushed me into pursuing this career, and I'm just looking forward to what God has for me as I move into this new as I transition to this new area of my life. I'm very happy, very proud right now. Still hasn't set in yet, but I'm pretty sure when I wake up in the morning, it's gonna hit. It's gonna seep in. But I'm proud of myself, man. Proud of what God is doing in my life and the lives of my brothers, man, and the lives of everybody who um do not count robbery to support this podcast, man. I just want to say we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And as always, we're here for you guys. And anybody who had a chance to listen in tonight, make sure you like, comment, share, tell your friends, your family about us, and make sure that y'all tune in for the next one. We got some amazing stuff for y'all. We're going back in the lab, and we got some good stuff for y'all. So y'all stay tuned. We love y'all. Y'all have a good night. God bless y'all.